FoxBsBusters. Thank you for joining us. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I just got in. I was busy all day running a July 4th thing before July 4th at work. I was there. I got there. I left my house at like 4:30 in the morning to get there at like 5:30 to begin setting up. And then basically I didn't leave until 6 o'clock in the evening. So basically, I have functionally worked 12 hours a day. And it took me an hour and a half to get home. So I am.
That makes a long day, that's for sure.
Yes, I am fucking tired. The money better be worth it. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, with that being said, before we go any further, I'd like to have my panelists introduce themselves. Go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself.
Well, it's Kenoshi about Nito here to say that, man, those old computers from, at least, during the Windows XP era were pretty loud. I just saw a short video of somebody starting up a old Windows XP computer, and wow, I forgot how loud those computers were. That's just
Well,
an idle.
if you were like me, you were wearing headphones, so you didn't hear the shit anyway.
Yeah.
Um, Now, if you had a family that had that all-in-one Dell
Please wait.
gateway shit with those
Trigger
shitty
activated.
ass
Activated.
speakers, then yeah, it was loud. It was loud. But I mean, we didn't care because Windows XP was. I'm sorry, Windows XP was one of the best OSs Microsoft ever came out with, in my
Oh,
humble
yeah,
opinion.
for sure, yeah. I'd agree. It was fairly straightforward. Everything was easy to find. Has the most memorable sound effects too.
Yeah, and it was just so much easier to use. I mean, Windows XP, like the modern shit that we take for granted on PCs these days, kind of started with Windows XP. And I know people are like, oh, Windows, fuck Windows. Windows is a virus. You don't understand how important Windows was to, like, just take gaming. I'm not even talking about productivity. Before Microsoft's Windows took off, let's say you had a graphics card. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's say you had a graphics card. The company that made that graphics card would have to make, because there were different OSs and different forks of OSs for everything. They would have to make code for each specific type of computer on the market. And back in the day, there was like, you could have at any given time 30, 40, 50 computer manufacturers. All of them different.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah.
All right? So when I hear people say, oh, fuck Windows, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, but at the same time, it's just kind of like Windows has everything, so everything just kind of works. You have Windows versus
Well,
Mac and Linux. You gotta find. Seems like you always gotta find some kind of workaround to get certain things to work. Not Linux has gotten way better, in ways Mac has gotten way better, but it's still not.
still not optimal.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, like when someone says, "Oh, I game on Mac," I'm like, "Why?" like if you're on PC and you game on a Mac, I'm like, I feel sorry for you because that is not like that is literally one of the worst ways you could game on PC is on a Mac PC.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And I know some people are going to get butthurt about that because people always get butthurt about shit that they don't like to hear because we live in a world where people can't just agree. People can't just be like, "Wow, you make a valid point," or "I disagree." I can see where you make that point, but I disagree. People just get angry instead of just making a valid argument as to why you might be wrong. Um, But yeah, man, Microsoft introduced an OS where all app users had to do and hardware users had to do was just write a driver for that specific piece of hardware. So all you needed was a driver for your graphics card. All you needed was a driver for your sound blaster. And that basically, as long as your OS was compatible with the driver, um, like as long as there was a driver for the OS, you just plug it in.
Very much.
So basically, modern computers, as you know them, would not exist as they are if it weren't for IBM, Intel, and Microsoft with Windows. So when I hear
Yeah.
people say, "Oh man, fuck Windows," I'm like, I mean, I get the vitriol,
Yeah.
but
Some days I, some days I say fuck Windows because there's a lot. Sometimes Windows likes to have a mind of its own and does whatever it wants, but at the same time, it's just kind of like Windows is really one of the most convenient operating systems.
yeah, you know, it's like when people say, "Oh, they have a monopoly." Yeah, they do. You want to know why? Because it's convenient.
Yeah.
Look, listen. If I have to, if I mean, basically, when people are like, "Well, why don't you just use Linux?" Okay, that's like coming up to someone saying, "Hey, um, like you use an automatic car, right? Yeah. Well, why don't you learn to build a car instead of just using one that you can buy?"
Linux is cool if you have a separate machine to put it on, but I wouldn't use it as my main computer.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know, if you want to learn Linux, I would say, and Linux can run on anything depending on
yeah.
the distro.
Get a old
Uh,
get an old laptop. Get an old laptop. Like, because you can go on eBay and get an old decent laptop. Install Linux on it and learn some coding.
yeah,
No one's gonna say anything to you about it. But what I'm saying, what gets on my nerves is when people who are into Linux, well, I just learned some coding, like like literally, like just go get a new job. Yeah, yeah. Let me just go and just get a new job. Yeah, yeah. It's like it don't work that way, bitch.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, man. That's where I am. I'm like, I don't appreciate people saying shit like that. But yeah, that's my thing. But enough about that. Let's talk about gaming. What you been playing?
I haven't really been playing much of anything.
Oh,
Yeah, I haven't been playing much of anything lately. What have you been playing?
um, I've been playing Shin Megami Tensei 5 on PC. Been having fun with that. Um, been having a lot of fun with that. Been playing Baten Kaitos on PC. The old Baten Kaitos on PC. The re-release. Been having fun with that. Basically, what I'm saying is, I've been playing a lot. I've been playing it with a trainer, so kind of cheating a little bit, but I've been having fun with it.
Oh, that's
Cause
good.
look, man, I ain't playing games to make it so damn hard that I can't enjoy my damn game. People think that's a big deal. Oh yeah, I played this game was so hard. I'm like, why? Why do you
Yeah,
do this to yourself? Only gamers do shit like that. Yeah, man, yeah, I'm gonna play a game and just make it so damn hard that I can't even enjoy it. Why? Why
yeah.
would you do that? So, I'm telling you this, I'm glad I never got it on the Switch. Because this
Yeah.
game, I heard it ran like shit on the Switch.
Oh,
Yeah, because, Switch is not the most powerful piece of hardware. Some people are going to get mad when they hear that, and I welcome your hatred. It makes me stronger. Your hatred only makes me stronger. Search your feelings, you know it to be true. Yes, your hatred, it makes me stronger. You think it makes me weaker, but your hatred makes me stronger. Your need to defend a $1 billion company.
Yeah, I know.
It's like I mean, people act like you came in their house and slapped their mom in the face with your dick when you complain about Nintendo. $1 billion company has more money than most of us will ever have in our lifetime. But heaven forbid you talk about it. Heaven forbid you talk about this $1 billion company. Because,
Yeah.
but anyway, we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is the Steam sale. Steam has had a sale. It's fucking amazing. Um, as per usual, because Steam sales are always fucking amazing. I've never had a Steam sale that wasn't fucking amazing. So, they got a lot of good shit this time. I mean, if you like spending copious amounts of money on shit that you're like, man, I shouldn't have gotten that, but you get it anyway. Steam has got it for you. All right. They've got RPGs on sale. They've got a lot of old school games on sale. Basically, what I'm saying is this: if you've been looking for an excuse to just spend a lot of money on some shit, Steam has got you. All right. Steam got your back, boy. All right. So with that being said, is there anything that you would like to see on the Steam sale?
No, I forgot it was even happening this week.
Yeah, man, it's going on for the next. I want to say it started last week, so this week into next week, like next three weeks, I think.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they
Well, it's
tend to last longer than you think. The Steam isn't like some companies do a sale and it's like it's 2 days. You're like, what the fuck? I was waiting on it. Yeah, well, you only had 2 days, bitch. It's like, but I get paid every 2 weeks. That's too bad,
yeah.
bitch. It's like, okay. Anyway, the Steam
What'd
sale
you
has
get?
been. No, go ahead, sir.
What'd you get on? What'd you get on the sale?
Let's see. Let me look at my Steam library of recent purchases. I just got Shin Megami Tensei 5, Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 remastered, and some other things that shall not be named. Oh, it goes from now to July 11th. So,
Okay, so next Thursday.
yeah, so here's some of the deep games they got, all right? The deep discounts. Celeste, Total War Shogun 2, Civilization 4, $2.99. Oh shit, I gotta get that. Arma 3, Euro Truck, Disco Elysium The Final Cut. Was $39.99? $3.99. Ghost Recon Wildlands, $4.99. Frostpunk, $2.99. Assetto Corsa, $1.99. Middle Earth Shadow of War, $2.49. American Truck, no one gives a shit about that. Jurassic World Evolution 2, $5.99. Humankind, $4.99. Battlefield 2042, Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 is $3.49. Battlefield 4 is $5.99. Um, Let me look at all of them because they have a lot of them. Castle Crashers, that's already in my library. It's $1.49, y'all. Um, Prison Architect, $2.99. Bloons Tower Defense, Batman Arkham Knight, $1.99.
Oh
just
wow.
saying. There's some good shit. Also some bullshit, but a lot of good shit too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. There's some good shit. Sea of Stars is 30% off at $24.99. If you haven't gotten that game yet, okay,
It's a good
Tunic
game.
$14.99. This is just shit on my wish list that I haven't bought yet. Ayuden 100 Heroes was $49.99, 37.49. Dragon Quest 11S Echoes of Elusive Age. Man, I gotta get that. It's $23.99.
Mm. Yeah, that's definitely good. Um, the game was okay. I kind of got bored with it, but it was all right.
Bored of
Uh, Dragon
Dragon
Quest
Quest. Yeah, well, I played
11.
the original one, like the original one that ran, and I was like, I'm not enjoying this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I played some of the second one. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. So like the way I feel about it is about the game is I just feel that it kind of like the game felt kind of a step back from the freedom of previous games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like previous games, you had classes and you could change your class and you could like build your character the way you wanted. This game felt more like Dragon Quest VIII, but the story wasn't as strong as Dragon Quest VIII, so it kind of felt like a bit underwhelming.
Yeah.
And I know some people are going to get mad and they're going to be like, "Oh, don't say that." Be whiny little bitches, but that's how I felt. Don't hate because I was like, not feeling it. People always be hating because you don't like something they like. So what else did you not like about the game?
Oh no, I just kind of got bored with it. Um, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that the game kind of there's a twist at the like when you first get halfway through the game, you're like, oh shit, and then it's like, oh, and then they're like, oh shit, we have to tie this into the other Dragon Quest games. I'm like, why would you do that? Like the thing about Dragon Quest is that like after the first trilogy, and then the second trilogy is its own thing, only very tangentially related to the other games, and that's what made it interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's shit like that that makes me just go, y'all don't really understand your own thing. And like I said, I like Dragon Quest. It's one of my favorite franchises. To me, Dragon Quest is a stronger RPG franchise than Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And I know some people are going to say, "Don't say that," but it is though. I know some people are going to get mad. Oh, how can you say that? Hear me out, okay? Why I say it's the stronger of the two franchises? Because Final Fantasy is very hit or miss, right? Like you'll have a Final Fantasy that's amazing, and then you'll have a Final Fantasy that's underwhelming. Then you'll have a Final Fantasy that's amazing. Then you'll have a Final Fantasy that's underwhelming. Even the original Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy One, gets a pass because it's the first game of the series. Final Fantasy Two was kind of underwhelming because it was the battle system was so different from what had come before.
Yeah.
Then you get Final Fantasy Three, which is the Final Fantasy that introduced the class system, like really where you could change classes at will almost, and you like the different like how different classes interact and all that type of shit. Um, which is amazing. Then you get Final Fantasy IV. Some people don't like Final Fantasy IV. I personally think that was a revitalization of the franchise where you basically had like a deep story, which no other Final Fantasy up until that point really tried to do as deep a story as Final Fantasy IV, where your character has a character arc, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you really didn't have that in the first Final Fantasy, you know? You didn't have a character with a character arc. You know, you were just random heroes who fought some guy named Garland. Whereas Final Fantasy 4, like you start out as Cecil, who's a Dark Knight, and it turns out that his whole life is a lie, and that he actually is like he was turned into a Dark Knight for his king. Although, like it turns out the king is a fiend. Like the real king has been prisoner in a tower for years. You know, everything he thought he was doing for the good of the kingdom has been a lie. His life is a lie.
Yeah.
That is some hardcore shit right there.
Yeah.
You know, and he winds up. You know, he basically commits genocide on a village because of a lie. It's like, god damn. What I'm saying is that Final Fantasy 4, you know, is pretty amazing. Final Fantasy 5 kind of a letdown because it's basically a better version of Final Fantasy 3 from back in the day with more of a
Yeah.
storyline, you know. But then you go from there to Final Fantasy 6, which arguably, in my opinion, is my humble opinion, Final Fantasy 6 may be the best Final Fantasy ever made. And you can at
Yeah.
me on that if you so choose. But you know, I don't care if people disagree with me because I feel that I am right. My cause is just, and I am right. I know some people will disagree with me because everyone disagrees with everyone all the time. You know, and then you go to Final Fantasy VII, which you know a lot of people think is like the best Final Fantasy ever. I am not one of those people. I do not think it's the best Final Fantasy ever. I think it's kind of overrated. I know some people are going to get mad when they hear that, but Final Fantasy VII is not that good, bro.
Yeah.
It's basically a better version of Final Fantasy. It's a 3D version of Final Fantasy 6. You know, with Cloud Strife being a male version of Terra. Um, it's like, oh, so you basically just created the same character in, except it's a dude this time.
Mm.
And Sephiroth is a shittier version of Kefka, but he's not nearly as interesting as Kefka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it. Sephiroth is not nearly as interesting as Kefka. And I know some people are going to get mad. They're going to get angry. But search your feelings. You know it to be true. You know Sephiroth is a shitty version of Kefka. You know it. You know it's true. Anyway, enough about that. So, sir,
Yeah.
anything else you want to add before we move on to the next topic?
No.
All right. As a nice segue, since I was talking about Square Enix, apparently Square Enix is firing on all cylinders. They've got their shit together. I know, I'm surprised too. I didn't think it was possible either. We can be surprised together.
Oh, how are they changing? What have they learned?
Well, games that used to be exclusive to certain platforms, oh, we're only going to put this on the Epic Game Store that no one gives a fuck about, are now coming to wider markets. Like Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming to Steam.
Yeah.
Um, Legend of Mana, the new Mana game, is coming to Steam.
Yeah.
These exclusivity deals where they're locking it on the least most popular, one of the least most popular platforms, are being done away with because these games are fucking expensive. So why would you lock it on the, like, literally the only reason I have the Epic Game Store is because they give me a free game every Thursday.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's gotten to the point where the games they're giving me are games I already have from previous Epic Game Store giveaways.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's starting to repeat itself.
I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. Oh, I already have it on my library. Never mind. Either I bought it myself or I got it for free a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. What I'm saying is that Epic Game Store is lame.
Yeah.
And no one's going out of their way to get that shit. But what do you think about it? Agree, disagree, don't give a fuck, don't
Well,
care?
it's about time. Hopefully they, obviously these exclusivity deals just aren't paying the bills like they used to. Um,
I would say
which
they never
isn't.
paid the deal. I think they never paid the bill,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I think that at best they broke even. You know, like when games were like, okay, back in the day during the fourth and fifth gen, even the sixth gen, I think the sixth gen was the tipping point. I think the fourth and fifth gen were games where you could make a game for like, you know, 5, 10 million, and Sony would put a lot of money into marketing, and you would make a lot of money back. Those days are over.
Yeah. Yeah, those days are long gone.
You know, those days are over. I know some people gonna get mad. They gonna get angry. They gonna cuss. They gonna cry because we got a lot of fanboys in this. They don't like. They get angry. But Square Enix had to realize that you know, games are getting more expensive to make, not less expensive. So why are you putting games on one platform where the market isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, Sony gamers aren't buying PlayStations for JRPGs.
No, not anymore.
To be honest with you, the JRPG platform these days is PC and the Switch.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I know some people are going to get mad about that. How could you say that? It's true though. I mean, have like I think the last Final Fantasy they made was Final Fantasy 16, and that game was a flop.
Yeah, it didn't sell the numbers that they wanted to. You know,
That was a
I followed some
PlayStation
people.
exclusive.
Yeah,
It was a
same with the.
PlayStation exclusive. Let me see how much it sold. Final Fantasy 16.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna get people to move over to PlayStation. That just doesn't work anymore.
No, because I think it only sold uh sales. Oh shit. It sold 336,000 physical units in the first week. So during its first week, it sold 3 million units. Okay. Now that's not bad. But then they charge like $70 for that game at launch.
Yeah.
It was a $70 game. So basically, let's say they were making $50 per unit sold. All right, and that's probably on the high end. It's probably less than that. $50 per unit sold.
That should be a lot of money.
Yeah, but you got to factor in 50. Let's see.
I also have to factor in how that money's split up.
50 times clear, 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 clear. 50 times 3 million equals. That is one, two. That's 150 million profit. Sorry, revenue generated. Now you got to factor in marketing. They probably spent maybe 100 million marketing that. Okay,
Yeah.
you got to factor in development. That game definitely cost more than 50 million to make.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in an age where a Final Fantasy game on PlayStation, the platform Square Enix has been bending over and lovingly blowing for the last. See, when did Final Fantasy VII come out? 98.
I think so. Around that time.
Let me look this shit up because I don't want to be. I don't like being uh, factually incorrect. Let's see, Wikipedia, Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII. 97. 97, 2007, 2017, 2023 is 25 years. 26 years. They've been lovingly blowing Sony for 26 years. And they've got
Yeah.
nothing to show for it.
Yeah. unfortunately.
So I don't know.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a failure.
So then,
And they didn't spend like. Don't forget that game was not completely developed by Square Enix proper. They co-developed that with Platinum Games,
yeah, that's true.
which is why the combat felt really good and so disjointed from being a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
And it was already
Yeah.
kind of shady because like Yoshi P's like, well, I think JRPG is a slur. I'm like, no, it isn't. But the reason he was saying that was because they weren't gonna go in the direction of a JRPG. They wanted to make it more actiony. And I'm like, if you're gonna make it more actiony, just do a spinoff. Don't call it Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting in that game until until it said it was PlayStation exclusive, and then I was just kind of like, nah.
Yeah.
Guess I just gotta wait until it hits PC.
The thing that made me not interested in it was when I was like, oh, they're like, oh, well, it doesn't. It like you don't have towns you visit. You don't control a party. I'm like, well, this isn't Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah. They were messed up there.
I mean, this should have just been a spinoff. Like literally, y'all should have just been like, okay, we're doing a Final Fantasy spinoff. And I
Yeah.
would have been like, that's cool. I might try it out. And then when you mention this, they get angry. Well, you should blah blah blah. Insert reason here why you should just deal with it. I don't like that shit. That makes me upset. That always makes me upset when people do shit like that. I'm like, you motherfucker, you rat bastard. But how do you feel about it? Don't care? Don't give a shit? Agree? Disagree?
Um, they should have been multi-plat from the start. Uh, you know, because again, they were trying to, because people were talking about the PC port. They were like, "What do you mean a PC port? Buy a PlayStation." It's like people aren't gonna. You're not gonna convince people to
You want to know
move
why?
from one
Because PlayStation
platform.
probably paid for the. Sony probably paid for the marketing.
Exclusivity. Yeah.
And if they paid for the marketing, then they had to just, Sony was paying the cost to be the boss.
Yeah.
So, if someone like, okay, if someone says, hey, if someone comes to your channel and says, hey, like, let's say your music takes off and someone says, hey, we will pay you. You sign a contract and they pay you 50K to 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 promote whatever fucking product they have. Your ass is gonna promote the product because they paid you to do it. That's
Mm.
just how it is. That's you know, you can't take their money and then not do what they paid you to.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know, and Sony has had their hand. up Square Enix's ass for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, there are gamers who don't know Sony, who don't know Square Enix when they didn't have Sony's hand up their ass. Young gamers, I mean, they don't have a clue of what
Yeah.
Square Enix used to be like. So, people just don't know.
But yeah, I just think you know, after what happened with Final Fantasy 16 and 7, they're probably like, yeah, we're not gonna make exclusive deals anymore unless they
Unless it's
unless
for a double A or single A game.
yeah.
Like, it's got to be something that's like where they're not gonna lose if it doesn't sell gangbusters. Like if
Yeah.
Dragon Quest Monsters 4 comes out, they're not really losing anything if they put it on the Switch. But the Switch is like Nintendo's audience is so big for their handheld that I don't see Nintendo's next console, even if it underperforms compared to the Switch. I see it's reaching over 50 million units sold.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it's still gonna make money.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens, it's still gonna make money. But that's just my opinion. I could agree or disagree. So with that being said, anything you'd like to add before we wrap things up? Get to the last bit, which is unpopular opinion and hot take. Sorry, unpopular
Um.
opinion and free topic.
No. No, I'm good.
All right. Uh, my unpopular opinion is this. All right. Some people might get angry about this, but I think it's a fair assessment. Um, there's this has nothing to do with video games. I just thought it was cool. So August 1st this year, there's something coming out on Prime that makes me happy. Matt Reeves and some other people, Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, are putting all their shit together and making a new cartoon in the vein of Batman the Animated Series.
Ooh.
Yes, 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 yes. 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 All right. And there's only one thing to say. Hell yeah.
Yep. So it's a new Batman cartoon, or is
It's
something?
a new Batman cartoon in the style of Batman the Animated Series, even more goth, set in like a 1940s esque Gotham with
Oh.
reimagined versions of those classic characters.
Oh, this should be interesting.
Now, the only downside is that everyone's favorite Batman died. Kevin Conroy, rest in peace. Uh,
Yeah.
so they got a new guy named Hamish. Forgot his last name. And the new guy named Hamish is he's doing his best kind of
Best Kevin Conroy
Like
impersonation.
at first, like there's a trailer for it. You can go on YouTube and look up the trailer for the new Batman cartoon. At first, it sounds like he's trying to imitate Kevin Conroy, and then he gets his own version of the Batman voice, and it's not bad. It's not like, I mean, look, man, the best Batman voice will always be Kevin Conroy because it's so fucking iconic, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, the man is dead.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about using AI to generate its voice,
I mean, they could get
especially
Nolan North because if you ever played Batman, uh,
it was the prequel to the.
Batman
Yeah, I
Arkham
know what game.
Origins,
Yeah, Arkham Origins. Yeah,
Nolan North does a reasonable facsimile. Like literally, when you first hear him, it's like, "Oh, that's Kevin Conroy." But then the longer you listen, it's like he's not quite Kevin Conroy, but he's doing a really good impression. It's like, man,
yeah,
that's close. Look,
yeah,
man, if Kevin Conroy ever passes, they can get you to do his voice. you know, like that's how good his Kevin Conroy is. Is that it's almost like you're hearing Kevin Conroy.
yeah, yeah,
So like I still think that they could have done that. They could have like had, okay, this guy is like, Kevin Conroy Batman didn't die, but they're doing a younger version, like a different alternate version of Batman. Like Diedrich Bader did Batman's voice in Batman Brave and the Bold. And it was
yeah,
different, but you still like, okay, that's Batman.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, the only person who I'm like, who the fuck is this? Was what's his name? Ben Affleck. I was like, what the fuck is this shit right here?
Yeah.
I still don't like Ben Affleck's Batman. I know everyone's like, oh, it was awesome. I'm like, no, no, not really. Not to mention, I mean, I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, that is, I like that. I liked it very much. But what do you think? Agree, disagree,
I
don't
I
care?
I think that's a good. I think it's pretty cool. Like if we're gonna you know sell our childhood sell our childhood back to us, at least
Do it right.
it, do it right.
I mean,
Exactly.
they did it right. I mean, Disney been fucking up with Marvel, but I mean, shit. X-Men '97,
I've heard good things about that.
it's
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's like literally they took the X-Men that I had as a kid and said, you know what? We know that you're 38 years old and that you're an adult. Okay, you pay a car note, you have a life, and it doesn't make sense that these people wouldn't talk about adult type matters that people have to actually deal with. So we're going to talk about that, and they
Yeah.
do, and it doesn't come across as condescending or stupid.
Yeah. Air Force. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I fucking wish. I wish other series would do that, but they're just so afraid of they're so afraid of actually dealing with treating these characters with any sense of, okay, this makes sense if this went to here.
Yeah.
Like, I know they fired Bo DeMayo because for reasons, but I was like, this guy understands these characters.
Yeah.
If they had someone like him in charge of Star Wars, maybe Star Wars wouldn't be the shit show it is right now.
Yeah. Good God. Talk about a textbook example of how to ruin a franchise.
Well, I mean, because no one gives a fuck about the actual franchise. Everything is just like, okay, we have this IP, and we're just gonna fucking we got to keep it in the we got to keep it in the cultural zeitgeist. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna fuck having a good story to tell. We're just gonna make some shit and throw it out there. to keep it relevant.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is trash. I mean, Star Wars is legit trash these days.
Yeah.
It is legit not good. Like, and look, and here's the thing, right? People are like, oh, it's because they have male character, or they have female characters. No, they have a black Sith Lord. No,
No, it's just
it's
that's
shitty
badly
writing.
written. Yeah, it's
It,
bad writing.
it's shitty writing, and it's shitty writing, shitty characterizations, shitty nonsensical plot devices. I mean, it's the same sorry ass shit they've been doing for 4 series. The Mandalorian, to a lesser degree, Obi Wan Kenobi, Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. They didn't do it with Andor, but Andor is under a different group of people making that, so people actually give a fuck about the IP. Um, it's clear to me what Star Wars' problem is, and it's clear to me that they have people in charge of it who don't give a fuck about the IP. They're just given a mandate to just technically stay within keeping it relevant, keeping it in the cultural zeitgeist, not making something that's actually good. And what you wind up getting is some truly terrible, terrible, terrible movies. I mean, god awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen a good Star Wars movie. The last good Star Wars movie I saw was Rogue One.
Yeah. A prequel movie.
And Rogue One is basically like, if you want to know how to watch Rogue One, watch the original prequel, the original prequels, okay? Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. Then watch Rogue One, and then watch A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Then stop watching Star Wars. Don't watch
Yeah.
anything else after that.
Yeah.
Okay, you can watch the Clone Wars. Okay, that's it. That's all you can watch.
Yeah.
And Andor, watch Andor. That's it. Nothing else. What about the Mandalorian? Fuck the Mandalorian. Okay, there I said it. I
Yeah.
said it. I fucking said it. The Mandalorian is doo doo.
I heard they ran that series into the ground.
You want to know what ruined the Mandalorian? Baby Yoda.
Eh,
Baby
yeah.
Yoda ruined that fucking franchise because it stopped. What it was supposed to be was like a western, where you have this lone bounty hunter going around trying to do cool shit, and then they fucking ruined it by trying to sell toys all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking make a good show and then sell shit after the show. Don't fucking try and build a show around selling shit, you stupid motherfuckers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting angry. Woosah. Anyway,
Yeah. It's like they didn't learn from. It's like they didn't learn from the '80s. You know, there some of the problem. One of the some of the problems with some of the cartoons then, and even after the '80s, is that they would just focus on using the cartoons to sell the toys rather than making a good story, writing, making a strong story, and then, inspiring kids to actually buy the toys from the show because the show was, really good.
yeah, but the thing is, we didn't know, like, as kids, we didn't give a fuck about a show being good. Like, really, for me, here's all I needed in order to give a fuck about a show, okay? Cool theme song, awesome animation for the opening scene, and fairly decent animation for the action scenes. And I was in. You had my little ass.
Yeah, that's
That was
true.
it.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like, like. But here's the thing: they can't even do that now.
No.
Like they,
And
like
the
okay,
technology and the tech is so much better,
yeah. Look,
but the
listen.
talent is so much worse.
I am someone who grew up with TMNT. Okay, I am literally. It came out in '87. Okay, the animated series. I grew up with that shit. That was my jam. That was the thing for me, okay? I grew up with it. I was born in 86. I was watching cartoons in 89, 90. I watched that shit as a little kid, okay? I was the primo 3-year old TMNT, all that shit, okay? The animation of that show was not great. It was craptastic. The opening though was awesome. The theme song was fucking amazing. All right, and
Yeah.
they sold toys. Look, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to my mom's house like a year and a half, like 2, 3 years ago, when she still had her house. And I went to the attic and I got my old shit. It's in my house. I have a room in my house where I have all the shit set up.
Yeah.
I have my old shit. I got two Technodromes. I got the one that's like a play set, and I got the one that's like literally like you can like put the characters in it and drive the shit around with a remote control. Got that shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. Our shit was better than the shit they got now. I'm not gonna. I shit you not. Okay.
Although those like, they're anywhere between $500 to $1,000. It's these Optimus Prime, and they just recently came out with Megatron. I think they got a couple
The
other.
ones that automatically transform.
Yeah,
Like you press a
transform.
button and it just slowly and it makes the noise while it's doing it.
Yeah,
And maybe you
yeah,
like press a button that, like if it's Optimus Prime, he says a little Autobots roll out, shit like that.
yeah.
Yeah, man, our shit was better than your shit today. These kids today, y'all getting so fucking taken advantage of with the raggedy ass shit they put out today. I mean, some
Yeah.
raggedy ass, half ass, no effort, low effort bullshit they put out today.
Average up. Now all they have is all they use are their tablets.
What?
They don't play with toys as much. All they have is their tablets and video games.
I mean, it depends on what type of parent you have. If you have parents who are like in my age group who remember how toys were, they get their kids toys. It basically depends on what type of parent you are and how you want your children to interact with play. Because children need to play. Children
Yeah.
need an outlet that isn't like you know. It can be an action figure. It can be games. Children because children learn through play. Um, so children need to play, and I think like I hate to say this because I was a child where I had video games, but I think children today are too invested in tablets and phone games and the internet and watching TV. Because when I was a
Yeah.
kid, I did everything. I played sports, I played an instrument, I was in extracurricular activities, I read a lot of books, I played video games, like I said, I read books, I did creative writing, like I did a lot of shit. So when I see these kids today, it's like, what do you do for fun? I just watch TikTok. I'm like, so? And? Do you read? No, I don't read. Do you play an instrument? No. Do you play sports? No. So what do you do? I just hang out with my friends. What do your friends do? We watch TikTok and bullshit. I'm like, okay. It's like there's a reason older people are like, this is the next generation is a lost fucking generation.
Yeah.
But I what do I know? I'm just some guy. Anyway, uh, that's all I want to say. Anything else you want to add before we move on to the pimping out the last of our stuff? for the
No,
cast?
no, I'm good. I'm
All right.
good.
This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. I mean,
Um,
I got nothing to add. Stay tuned next week where hopefully we'll get back to having our normal cast at our normal time. I didn't do it today because, like I said, I was basically just kind of like busy all day long. Um, I had a very long day today, and I'm
yeah.
kind of fucking tired. But I'm still. Look, I power through shit through the power of coffee.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Coffee can do anything. So, thank you for joining. Remember, we're trying to grow the channel, so rate, comment, share, subscribe. And, if you think that there's someone who would be interested in the channel, don't forget to share it. Let them know, hey, here's an interesting podcast. Anyway, that's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe, and play your games. Anything you want to add, sir?
This Kanoshi Abominito. Uh, we'll have another project console next week. Didn't have it yesterday because I was doing some computer stuff.
All right.
Um, but hopefully we'll have one next week. And also still doing music stuff. Haven't posted anything in a while. Uh, have a remix of a song I made. So other than that, we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Peace, good night, and play your games. Or
See you guys
else.
later.